Yeah.
This in the north is the double Night Elf team. I have no idea if this is RazerMoon or if it's Dise. It's one of these. The advanced observer mode of Blizzard is unfortunately not.
That one is Dise or Dise.
Ah, Dise. All right. So in the upper right, we got RazerMoon. He was streaming and practicing until late at night yesterday. Hope he's ready and awake for this. And it's interesting because we already got a late altar going into this later. A former top 8 European player of the one-on-one section, and for a long time one of the best 2-on-2 players in the world from France is KraV at the bottom right-hand side, and his partner in crime fell yesterday in the one-on-one section, unfortunately, but had a great performance. Dr. Bucky on the bottom left-hand side.
All right, we're already seeing some interesting things happening. Of course, Dise and RazerMoon are going for Demon Hunter, and probably if we can see a trend from the last series that RazerMoon played, he'll probably be going for a Panda first. KraV is actually going for a Death Knight first with a Ghoul opening, so very not standard. KraV almost never goes for a Fiend opening, which is the standard in this matchup. But instead he's gonna go, I believe he will be going for an expand, I want to say. Yeah, he sells his town portal, buys a Rod of Necromancy, and a sacrificial skull. Actually, he's going straight for the enemy base.
What?
And it's gonna be a lot of pressure onto the Night Elf player.
All right.
And meanwhile, Bucky is also attacking the enemy base, but he's going for a separate base.
Yeah, man, we should check the Phantom Aces team for rabies, because this is pretty much exactly what Stars and Pato did. And this is kind of nice for KraV against RazerMoon, because of course the Panda needs time. On level 1, he's really not that effective, even against Mass, where he's supposed to be the counter against. He needs the level, he needs to be creeping, and Dise is supposed to buy that time, but he can't buy time if he's under pressure himself.
Yeah, this is a really heads-up play for like a dual-pronged attack. Usually, this is if you're just going for one player, it's not particularly effective because your ally can support you. But because it's dual-pronged, the Panda is really weak against these kind of pressures. And he is probably going to be able to. He's probably going to take a lot of damage while Dise is distracted, or Dise is distracted from Starbuck.
Oh man, this is not looking good for Dise on the Demon. The Moonwells are pretty depleted. Starbuck also with a shop to the right-hand side, so he can heal and get clarities. Was about to be blocked, but moves away, because he's of course an artist on mouse and keyboard and has no problem keeping his hero alive. Now, damage is done against RazerMoon's Panda leveling, and KraV is joining.
Yeah. Very key here is that even though there was a lot of harass by KraV, we have a TP. Oh, the Demon Hunter is at like 1 HP. And then he dies. I believe KraV and Starbuck got the experience. We have the Panda TPing in. Not what you want to see. A Panda with 6 experience this early. He goes for a Breath of Fire and doesn't kill the Brunt. Everything's going terribly for Dise and RazerMoon.
It's a disaster! For now, at least. Can they weather the storm somehow? Demon Hunter will be back in no time, as it's only level 1, and slowly but steady the damage of Panda and Archers are stacking up, so they're able to deal with the ghouls tacking in their face. That's a sign of confidence.
Yeah, what else is a sign of confidence? Just a blind sacrificial skull in the middle of your opponent's base.
Defiles the territory.
Yeah, defiles the ground, definitely, but I think the harass is somewhat starting to peter out. There's just too many archers. We have the clarity bot from KraV, great use of teamwork with this proxy shop, and salves are being used on the grunts, and we might see another go at it. Of course, salves were kind of the hidden hero of the last series, where the orc player was able to go for 1-2 punch. We might see a similar story here.
We have the techs running, I assume. KraV is already done with that. Should be. Oh no! Surround on the Demon Hunter. No disable at the moment. The staff goes through. Last second save by Dise. Tech by Bucky is also done with the Shadowhunter Beastery. And on the Night Elf side, RazerMoon almost done with the tech, but Dise is far behind.
Yeah, we have a ghoul pull from KraV, and it's just mass melee from Starbuck and KraV. Lures are supposed to go down right about now, but I think RazerMoon sees, oh, there's a bunch of units in my base. What am I going to do about that?
Yeah, that's a good question, Monk, that I can't really answer. Maybe some proxy buildings, but I don't know if he even has wisps outside. Once again, the Panda is denied creeping for, I don't know, solid 6 minutes now. And I don't know. Is there a way out of this for the dual Night Elf team?
Yeah, I think they can still get out of it. They just really need to get this Panda up to level 3. But even if it goes to level 3, I think because Undead has statues, it might still not be the most effective.
We're going a lot of mercenaries now. Thank you, Alpha Strategist, for the sub. Panda level 2. Alright, we got some damage into RazerMoon's army as well. If you can't invest anything into Dryad's Bears, then just go for the Merc camp. But Starbuck is at it again. Speed scroll. Oh, blocks himself. Hex. Oh, no. He saves the TP. For now? Really? What a madman. Problematic situation continues, but now that they join forces, the two Night Elves, everything should be fine again. But of course prevents them from...
we have Starbuck, we have RazerMoon getting pressured, but because of Mr. Muddy, he's able to get out of it without too many losses and actually able to pick off a ghoul.
Not bad, not bad. More control on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, Dise is also clawing back. Once again, his Demon Hunter under fire. So much hero focus in these 2-on-2 todays. Kinda unusual. Now the Farseer under pressure. But the Demon Hunter not fast enough for once.
Oh. We got a potion of healing. And Demon Hunter teleports back to his base where he'll heal up. And try to fight off this pressure from Starbuck, who is going actually double bestiary. Very pressure-filled game, we expect.
And KraV should be on the way to tier 3. I don't really have the time to check the bases because there's so much action happening. Starbuck slowly running out of steam against the Naga crowd control, but hero focus is always an option. There's the TP, drops the item on the ground, and he got it! Starbuck got the staff!
Yeah, Starbuck has a Staff of Preservation. You know, normally I'd be like, you know, Starbuck is an Orc player, and he doesn't have experience with staffs, but Starbuck quite experienced with Night Elf as well, so I hope to see a staff maybe on this Raider here.
Oh, that would be gold.
No staff on the Raider.
Not yet,
no
at least.
No staff on the grunt.
But also
Come on,
no
show
staff.
us the staff.
He's more focused on the Naga, which is falling now. And if you have great micro, you don't, or you can save the staff for later. The one-on-one between Dise and Starbuck going on for like 3 to 4 minutes. So far, Dise is able to hold, but for how long?
We got a potion of healing bot. Is it on cooldown? Oh, 2 HP. Demon Hunter survives with 2 HP.
Alright, but I mean, there's this constant action. Again, the pendulum, this time into RazerMoon's base, where undeads do what undeads do best. Ghouls onto Moonworlds, an unfair fight.
Yeah, we have a destroyer here, able to dispel Rejuve. But the Panda actually comes back and he's able to hold off this undead.
But, of course, Starbuck is back on the left-hand side. This reminds me of Evil Geniuses 2-on-2s back then, of Grubby and Happy, who played this to perfection. And of course, Starbuck and KraV are able to do exactly that. Naga falls, Demon Hunter gets the level up, but no TP, only a staff, and the staff is worth nothing if you have 6 raiders to your throat.
Oh no. I think it's looking like, yeah, RazerMoon will have to TP back, but as soon as RazerMoon TP backs, his base is up for the taking. And KraV is just perfectly in position to take advantage of that.
He's also expanding, 50% done, tier 3 unfolding with the Naga now. Some creeps left, but yeah, if they collapse on this army now, Panda's level 3, alright, can do some damage. Destroyers though, more or less uncontested. They're just going for the Panda, who was supposed to be the carry, but he's falling, and he was under-leveled pretty much the entire game. So the carry is gone and hope is lost.
Yeah, two Night Elf armies not the strongest. The Demon Hunter gets nuked. Demon Hunter also falls, and we have no heroes on the board for RazerMoon and Dise.
Oh my, yeah, this is troublesome. We're a little bit ahead of schedule here as the Phantom Aces teams that are sweeping the floor with the competition. Dryad's about to fall, everything about to fall, really. With the statues in the back, there's constant healing, constant replenishment, and double level up for Starbuck. And now, does he not use the staff? I guess he does have it, he's just not using it. But yeah, it's just a cleanup crew at this point.
Game over.
Yeah, of course, only one of the two players types GG. As Dise, I don't know, his G key might be broken or something. We rarely see that from him, but 1-0 for KraV and Starbuck.
Yeah, that was like a super impressive game from Starbuck and KraV. I think it's very rare that your game plan going into a game is, I'm actually going to split push my two opponents and see what happens from there. And I think they were only able to do so because their opponent was double Night Elf. And typically, that timing that they pushed at is a timing where you expect players to be creeping with their Ancients of War. The Demon Hunter, for example, actually had to abandon his creeping in order to deal with that harassment. And I think that the players just overall were very thrown off by this very unique play. I would say it's definitely not a type of play that you practice against a lot, especially on the ladder where maybe KraV, where you don't have like such high level players like KraV and Starbuck strategizing against, hey, what do I specifically do against a double Night Elf team who's going for a specific Panda and Demon Hunter strategy. So I think just not only do the skills of KraV and Starbuck show off, but the preparation I think played a great part here in that victory.
It's really impressive because when they started to play as a 2-2 team, they were mostly known for KraV playing a Crypt Lord and Starbuck playing Fastier Headhunters, and they built 5 to 6 bases and just outmassed, and of course they were reliant on the late game then. But this is totally different from what we're used to seeing from them, and still, it's working out wonderfully.
Yeah, you could argue that in the past they were abusing the strength of Crypt Lord and Undead Expansion and Farseer and Headhunter, but yeah, they just showed off that they don't need those, like the strength of those units and the strength of those heroes. They can do it just with standard play.
We were all hoping for some big, what's 4 times 80? 320 supply fights, but we're not granted that. Lots of aggression, lots of early game fights, and then just snowballs, as Warcraft 3 can be a very snowbally game. Let's see if we have something different here on Ironshore.
Yeah, on Ironshore we have KraV on the right, and he's going to be going for a very similar build. So I actually probably suspect something very similar here with maybe a dual prawn harass yet again. On the bottom left, we also see Starbuck going for a very similar build. Farseer with a grunt opening. It's not actually the most common opening. Blade Master and grunt is a little more common. Farseer and Headhunters maybe is a little more common just on the standard ladder, but this is like the highest pressure play possible in the early game. It's very focused on doing the best you can to pressure that enemy player, especially an enemy Night Elf player who's going to be relying on one hero plus archers in order to fend off harass.
We have a little
so strong.
Little bit of a different setup though, despite the builds being similar. We have KraV close position to Dise, so he will not run into the Panda, but rather a Demon Hunter. And Starbuck is facing RazerMoon this time on the bottom left-hand side, so he's the one who has to hold back the Panda.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see like what the difference in play here is, or just when the opponents are switched up. Interestingly enough, similar to last game, KraV actually sold his TP in the early game, so he's just very confident that he will be the one putting on the pressure. He actually goes for creeping, early creeping this game instead of harassment. Meanwhile, Starbuck is still going for the harassment, especially against the Panda first. And that's going to be really effective because he's not going to be able to deal with the grunts that effectively against a non-Demon Hunter. Or the Demon Hunter is just so good against a CORSAIR, but I think RazerMoon is going to struggle a bit with the wolves.
Oh yeah, for sure. Also, not being able to melt against the grunts, it's a little bit tricky. But he's holding a lot better than he did before against the ghouls. Of course, in the early game, Night Elves always struggle against ghouls. And that's what we will be seeing on the right-hand side right now.
Yeah, as the ghouls approach, I do want to note one key aspect and one key difference between last game and this game is that the Voodoo launch in the middle of the map was canceled, so the pressure can't be held up. But that's not what we're focused on right now. We're focused on this huge number of ghouls in the opponent's base, and all these wisps that are going to fall down.
Ooh, let's see about that. Frostmourne hungers. I don't know how a wisp tastes like, but good enough for that. DK. Burning through the mana, of course, is the Demon Hunter, so no coils available anymore. And this defensive setup by Dise is really good.
Yeah, both players, actually, both Night Elf players. Oh, the Demon Hunter gets surrounded. But he has Immolation, so a bit of a punish there. Both Night Elf players, in response to what happened last game, actually put an Ancient of War in the middle of their bases. So that's going to do so well in order to defend against this pressure. And both Night Elf players, I think, are actually doing really well this time. Not really taking any damage, any significant damage at all.
Yeah, there was no break in between the games, basically, like a minute or something for the rehost, but they knew exactly what to change to survive better in the early game. Oh, Farseer surrounded this time, so this might lead to a town portal as we hit that Shadow Melt button in time. The problem is, of course, that these engines of war are costing resources, and that will hurt them in the tech down the road.
Oh, we have a surround on this archer. Do we have a dust? Yes, we do, of course. But in exchange, a ghoul falls down. I think these trades are still pretty good. A 1-for-1. As long as Dise is surviving, I think he's gonna feel pretty good about this. The Ancient of War is getting harassed, but Dise again, he's able to survive. And you know, these Ancients of War, these extra Ancients of War that the Night Elf players have built, they're not useless. They're going on into the middle of the map, and Dise can use these for creeping just right now.
Yeah, pretty good that Dise is paired against KraV. There's very few players in the Western scene who have more competitive experience against Undead, as Dise is basically facing Happy in the best of 5 every single Friday. So he knows how to defend ghouls.
Yeah. I think that these Ancients of War are basically what you would expect if, for example, players open a Warden opening, and you just have this like Ancient of War that is just creeping all the time. The Creep Jack, however, from KraV, but Dise already got the item, and he's gotten, yet again, a Talisman Evasion. A lot of the Demon Hunters getting the Talisman Evasion these days, but it's actually quite useful because Demon Hunters pretty much always skill at Immolation.
And it's actually better than the level 1 evasion anyways, so you take the talisman over the first skill point, and now he got it all. So nice drop, I'd say, especially if you're in Focus Fire so much. Speaking of Focus Fire, we got a Shadow Hunter, we got hacks, and we got some dead archers.
Yeah. The Panda is level 3, but he's gonna get, no, not surrounded. The grunts, however, are burning. And Dise comes in, and he's probably gonna have to... Oh, he can't even force a TP because there is no TP from Starbuck.
He lost it before, he was surrounded there. There's nothing. Farseer was just naked, and now he's dead. Very great, very good recovery by RazerMoon and Dise, who clearly did his homework in between the games.
Yeah, amazing adaptation to what happened in the last game. Not only the extra Ancients of War, but also the foresight to know, hey, maybe there's a proxy shop, and and the decision to go out into the middle of the map and scout that proxy shop and cancel that proxy shop. So in contrast to last game, we have a completely different game. We have a Shadowhunter who's just has very few raiders, very few grunts, just trying to do his best to creep. We have the undead player. Also, just he's at level 3 and level 1, and he's trying to expand right now, or he's trying to get Bucky's trying to expand, but the Demon Hunter scouts it right away. He sees that little sneaky peon, and he knows that this is a possibility.
Yeah, against Starbuck and KraV, you always have to look for a Demon Hunter. Saved with 19. Not even breaking sweat. It was all calculated, as much as you can calculate things in Warcraft 3. Definitely a switch of gears. The first time in this series where Starbuck and KraV are not the aggressors.
Yeah, they're on the back foot. And Dise and RazerMoon, they're both actually teching to tier 3. Both probably going for some kind of bears. But this is going to be a good timing. I think what it's really going to come down to at this point is, will the expansion get up? I think it's probably going to go up, and the Night Elf players will use their tier 3 bear advantage to go for some kind of push. And during that kind of push, I don't believe KraV and Starbuck will be able to defend it, and they're probably going to have to go for some kind of hit and run shenanigans to catch their opponents off guard.
I wonder if both Night Elves going tier 3 is the right choice? Because they can both go Dryad Bears, really. Do they need double tier 3? Or is it a bit redundant?
I think one thing you're thinking about in this situation is, KraV and Starbuck are very likely to go for, instead of like a 2-on-2 battle, 2 separate 1-on-1. So you want both players to be individually strong as possible in this situation. So I can definitely get behind both players going to tier 3 in this scenario.
That's what you're here for, man. Cleaning up my nonsense. Love to hear that. So, Zeppelin play by Starbuck. He always says no more lames, but a Raider Zeppelin drop into a Night Elf base sounds very much like lame to me.
And my nonsense was that I thought this Great Hall was going to get up, but silly me, the Panda with just his Dryads goes to cancel it. Who needs bears?
Exactly. Who needs bears and who needs a main base? There's a Sapper, there's a Zeppelin full of Raiders, and here we go. I don't think there's anything that can save this Tree of Ages / Eternity. Trying to block, almost a Wisps around, but they're all getting damaged, and Chain Lightning is getting a quad kill. Nice TP reaction. Are they breaking through with this? Yep, they are. Shadowhunter on the menu, and Monk is lagging. At a crucial timing, here's the great display at the reconnect function. Tree goes down, Shadowhunter as well, but what a great trade this was. The Raiders all survive. And that's a base knockdown.
Yeah, great play. This is exactly the type of plays that allow you to come back into the game. And I think it's gonna be do or die here from Dise and RazerMoon. They're still not out of it if they can't kill this expansion, because they're so far ahead in terms of their fighting armies and their heroes abilities, just their heroes overall. But I think it's going to be some kind of base trade from KraV and Starbuck.
That, of course, goes well with mass ghouls, A-bombs, and raiders. A pure melee army. Would love to see a Dreadlord with Vampire in the mix. But yeah, let's see who's faster. Dise has some FFA experience that will certainly be helpful in a base race like this, but his base in the upper left-hand side is getting wrecked by KraV.
Yeah, it's really funny. This expansion is protected by 2 Ancients of War from 2 different players. One thing I'd really love to see from Dise right now is to research Nature's Blessing as soon as possible. Yeah. Because these kind of shenanigans with the Raiders are going to come about. We have a TP from Dise. He's trying to save his base. And his base is actually really well positioned against this kind of Raider laming because of all the Ancients are surrounding the Tree of Eternity. And he TPs it out right away. In return, KraV TPs in, and he's able to nuke down the units from RazerMoon. Invul pot here by RazerMoon, and we actually have a fight.
There is another Breath of Fire doing massive damage for now, at least. Dryad's able to pick up some ghouls. They will be replaced by A-bombs and statues, of course, spreading the disease. Starbuck is coming in from the left-hand side. That Dryad thought it's safe, but it absolutely is not. And a big rat mass is going towards the north. And we have, finally, a huge team fight coming.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that yet. I don't think Starbuck or KraV, they know they can't actually win a team fight at all, so I don't think they're gonna try to take a team fight this entire game.
You're right once again. That's why we pay you the big bucks.
Yeah, it's easier to be right when you can see that the battle is not happening and like make a quote unquote prediction.
Yeah, I was just so hopeful, you know, but.
All right, we have Raiders going into Dice's base yet again. Still no Nature's Blessing.
My God.
Would really love that Nature's Blessing.
Yeah, me too. I guess that goes for both players, right? Town Portal home, Breath of Fire again. Drunken Haze not researched would, of course, be another nice asset. Sapros getting killed on the right-hand side. And, oh my God, we get wagons. What is this army composition by KraV?
Oh, I love this army composition. It's like, it's almost like a perfect undead versus orc. Like, this is the kind of army composition you see like for 2-base undead versus 2-base night elf, for instance. And it's a good way to come back. You can't go with like a very standard composition because you'll just get defeated right away by like a level 4 panda, possibly level 5 incoming.
Yeah. Very, very close to that. Level 4 and 3 Demon Hunter as well on Dice's side. Getting some good levels. The first attack in a while onto Dice's base. He also, no Nature's Blessing, but apparently no one cares. This siege with the wagon, pretty scary, but they're on the way back trying to save resources for the TPs. But KraV is getting level 4.
Yep. This Panda's maybe in a bit of danger. He has a TP, but he might have to use the TP right now. Yeah, TP is used. Thankfully, Dice is coming back in, and his army with the Demon Hunter is able to fend off this army. Is there a TP from KraV? There is a TP from KraV, but maybe he's staying in this fight a little bit too long. He picks off a bunch of archers. He's actually doing pretty well, but is this meat wagon gonna fall? Ooh, the Panda comes in, and the meat wagon indeed falls.
Inches away from 5, but that of course exposes the base in the north. More portals with staffs now, so it's down to the heroes of Dice to save this, and so far he's doing a fine job. Zeppelin has a couple of units in him, but they're not crashing to be slowed down. Then they probably would have all fallen against lots of crowd control by Naga Dryads. What a game.
Great. Yeah, great play from Dise buying double Staff of Teleportation, but this Naga is a little vulnerable. He's going to have to TP out.
Farseer also under pressure. KraV is joining the fray. Panda still can't get the kills for the levels. Everything is so hurt. He got it on the silver platter, but the waiter is taking it away from him. Next expansion attempt by KraV.
Yeah, and meanwhile we have an expansion attempt by RazerMoon as well.
Ooh, true.
So this has actually turned out to be a really exciting game. I did not really think Starbuck and KraV were able to like come back into this game, but through their expert maneuvering of 2v2 and expert knowledge of 2v2, this is kind of a game. I would still give the advantage to the double Night Elf team, but I can really see it going either way.
Was there another Sapper attack? I definitely think so, because Dice's base, or RazerMoon's base, is gone again on the left-hand side. Tricky and sneaky Starbuck investing into the detonates against the Night Elf. But okay, we do have somewhat of a fight here.
Yeah, very awkward army from KraV. He has some combination of Fiends, A-bombs, and Destroyers. Pretty good. I guess this army composition. Oh, we have a lone meat wagon straggler as well. Very hodgepodge of units here.
Absolutely. Oh boy, there's a grunt. I wonder if he has pillage to get some resources off of this attack. Looks like it. That's nice. Starbuck with another base on the left-hand side. Panda finally made it to 5. If only he had Drunken Haze to slow down the Farseer. It could potentially be a TP, but he doesn't, so he has to hope for crits and the breath. Raider to the rescue.
Yeah, Duncan Hayes would be pretty amazing here. Typically, with the strategy, you don't want to go for it just to maximize your mana, and to go for a little tankier panda. But I don't know. I don't think a retrade is particularly worth it in this specific situation. But maybe if he had a little more, what's it called? At the same time, though, you want to save your energy or your mana for Storm or the Fire if that ever comes up. And we have another expansion tonight. Bucky's expansion is going to go down. We have a fight here. KraV is actually losing quite a bit. Destroyers have to pull out. And this Night Elf A-move army is just doing work on KraV.
But it's also about to fall despite the bears, who are of course doing the majority of the damage. Destroyer down, which is the natural counter to them if they have mana, but they don't. Can KraV hold this expo? It would be so important. He's feeding the Acolytes to a level 5 Demon Hunter. Siege Bear's taking this home. So instead of 4 gold mines for the KraV and Starbuck team, we're down to 2. But if we can get the Demon Hunter, that would be grand. Town Portal out. Oh, close affair with the gold mine. He holds.
Yeah, this one hero Acolyte that for some reason wasn't killed was able to repair just enough to hold this gold mine.
Sick game. Panda steps away, on the way to 6 now. 2 bases on the Night Elf side as the former main was blown up yet again. How long will the mains last, I wonder? 2 minutes roundabout.
Yeah, fortunately for Dise and RazerMoon, even though they're in this base race scenario, which I'm sure they don't wish they were in, given how ahead they were, they have some of the best heroes in this situation. Panda is able to just solo armies, able to hit and run a lot, able to really deal a ton of damage to raiders. And then with the Demon Hunter and Naga, with the double staff of teleportation, that's just an excellent counter as well to just kind of hit and run.
Oh my god, there was a sapper an inch away from the haunted gold mine, but it got nuked by a coil. Great positioning and heads up play by KraV. How many sappers have we seen in this game? Like, we're at 4 or 5 right now. Probably the best 2-on-2 map in the tournament.
Yeah, totally. On this map that we hardly ever see on 2v2, hey, maybe this is an argument to add it to the BNet pool if you're watching Blizzard.
Yeah, Blizzard. If you're watching Warcraft 3 tournaments. That was a good one, Monk.
All right, I got a lot of those coming. Meanwhile, Dise, he's getting a focus fired, and he has to TP out due to this immense number, due to essentially being double teamed. Something to note here is that because RazerMoon hasn't had income for quite a while, until right now where he got up his expansion, his army supply is still around 28. Earlier it was actually at 21, so it's just a solo Panda show. But as we know, Mr. Panda, he's worth an entire army, isn't he? Especially when the other army is just a handful of raiders.
Exactly. Plus the ultimate is getting closer and closer. There was another Zeppelin drop attempted, but the Zeppelin is burning and, okay, dropping it now into Dice's former base. While KraV is, of course, mining from 2 bases. We got a big fight here in the middle as well. Lich level 4. KraV is getting stronger and stronger here, but level 5 Demon Hunter takes the juice away. Naga with the big fork lightning. Gotta be careful to save the demon. Just dies! What?
Oh my god. The Sapphire's preservation was uncooled, so he was not able to save it. Meanwhile, we have RazerMoon. Oh, he's struggling a bit against the Mass Raiders as well. Dice actually leaves the game. That means RazerMoon has to go for 1v2, and it's all about the win.
It is all about the win. Starbuck and KraV completing the Phantom Aces grand final with another 2-0 here. Flawless performance. Great game. Lots of back and forth and lots of action happening everywhere. Hard as an observer to catch all of it. But man, that was some 5-star entertainment.
Yeah, I actually think all 4 players played super well this game. In the early game, it's been so wild. It's been so long because we've seen such a back and forth game. But in the early game, RazerMoon and Dice adapted super well to the strategy that they expected. They got Ancients of War. They defended super well. They canceled the Voodoo Lodge, and I thought like it was pretty much an unwinnable situation for KraV and Starbuck. Not only did they strategize really well, but RazerMoon got a ton of surrounds on the Farseer. got a Farseer kill, and we had a lone Shadow Hunter with a bunch of Raiders. But Starbuck and KraV, they had a backup plan. They had mass raiders, which is really good for coming back into the game. They got a few detonations off. They killed the Tree of Life of RazerMoon, and from then on, it was just insane. Like just back and forth. We have a crazy army composition from KraV as well, with A bombs and meat wagons and destroyers. Not so much fiends. And just from the economic advantage of being on two base versus one base so long, they eventually got back to the game by whittling their opponents down. And right before the key turning point where a Panda would hit level 6, and I think it's just very hard to fight against that. So one of the best 2v2 games I've seen in this I've seen in this tournament at the very least. And I think definitely the game of the tournament so far.
Yeah, absolutely agree with everything you said. That gives us the grand final of KraV and Starbuck versus Pato and Scars tomorrow. And both of the teams have been ultra aggressive in the early games. So they saw the games, obviously, can make some adjustments. It's for both teams a different matchup, of course, as well. They know each other super well. This is very, very promising for tomorrow's best of 5.
Yeah, especially a best of 5 that I will wake up at 8 a.m. to cast instead of 4 a.m. So I'm especially excited for that. We have all every player or every team in the grand finals tomorrow. Not only are they from the same team, but they also use entirely different strategies in the two series that they each played. So I think I can't predict what will happen tomorrow, even with the strategies, never let alone the results. But I'm definitely going to be in for it.
Wonderful. This is, of course, going to be played between the one-on-one semifinals and grand final to give the semifinal players a little bit of time to rest and get ready for the grand final. Monk, that was a rough 2 weekends for you. 4 a.m. call time, but you made it. You're a true warrior, and I'm very, very happy to have you by my side. Now you can go back to bed and watch the one-on-one games with Colorful Moon, Elegant, and Leon. But before you go, you might want to point people to a certain homepage and Steam page.
Oh, I would. I guess yet again, I would like to point everyone to now this little game that I'm working on my free time. It's called Stormgate, and you can hear about it at playstormgate.com. You can sign up for our newsletter, which will give you constant updates about the progress of our game. But you can also, if you want to support us, click that little button in the middle of the screen, which lets you wish list us on Steam. You get to go to our Steam page, watch some cool screenshots and trailers of the pre-alpha of our current game. And if you hit the wish list button, which you can do for free, no money required, you can support us because that raises us on the or on not the Twitch algorithm, on the Steam algorithm, which shows the game off to even more players. So if you care about the future of RTS, you want to support us, you want to support a struggling professional, of course, Warcraft 3 caster in Monk, then please go to this page and I don't know, maybe you can play Stormgate in the future.
Maybe. Will there be some special keys for the Back to Warcraft community?
If you promise to maybe cast a few Stormgate games in the future, I'm sure there's going to be a key there for you
Well,
and for members of the community.
okay, wonderful. I'm definitely up for that. When will we get the next crumbs of news about the game? Is there anything in sight?
Nothing that I can officially announce, but there's always great crumbs of news over the horizon.
And where could people possibly find out about that? Do you have like social media accounts somewhere?
Social media. What is social media? Well, I think the best place you can follow us on social media, number one, I guess you can follow our Reddit, where we actually, the devs, have frequent discussions, and we post on there quite a lot. It is reddit.com/r/Stormgate. It's the subreddit called Stormgate. We're also on the very famous social media platform formerly known as Twitter. And you can follow us there either at Play Stormgate, I believe is our Twitter, and also Frost Giant Studios.
And you can find out a little bit about the development here. There was a information piece dropped yesterday or the day before about the infernal music with the original composer of Command and Conquer, and that made me really happy. Good old Frank back at the keyboard. Love to see it. Can't wait to hear more. Monk, thank you so much for getting up early and providing us with great insights about 2-on-2. Plus, of course, thank you for your great work at Stormgate. Can't wait to see more and play more.
All right, Neo. See you bright and early, but not too early tomorrow.
Take care, buddy. Bye-bye. Monk gone, but of course the games will continue in just a little bit. We got the one-on-one section up next. The games are scheduled to start in like 20 minutes. I will have a new co-caster. The name is the same though. I swap one Kevin out for the other Kevin, the vice champion of Germany, Kevin Schwem, the legend, will be joining me on the broadcast. Because we have a lot of Night Elf games. We got this very bracket right here. We got 3 players in the semifinal. That is Foggy, Kaho, and Sock. And one more player needs to join them for Championship Sunday. Colorful versus Elegant. Moon versus Leon. Those are the 2 round of 16 matches plus the quarterfinal. And later on today, we're also going to have the first grand final of season 15. And that will be, as is tradition, the free-for-all alongside Irenicus, Lilu, Bobby OG, and the winner of today's last chance qualifier. But yeah, again, we are celebrating the games. We are celebrating W3Champions, and these people need to be celebrated, must be celebrated, because they saved us all when Blizzard, can we say abandoned us? I mean, they were kind of somewhat there, but they left us with no ranked play for a game that is supposed to be played in multiplayer. Obviously, we have some great custom games, and the campaign is one of the greatest of all time, but on an esports channel, of course, you need the multiplayer. And Pat threw something together. Oh, Monk's still there. There we go. Threw something together, and a lot of helping hands build what is now W3Champions. You can get your hands on this at war3champions.com for free. The greatest multiplayer experience in the history of Warcraft 3 with leagues for every single skill division. Whether it be the greatest of the greats, all of the greats play on W3Champions in the Grandmaster League, but also amateurs, returning players, people who are new to the game, starting in the Grass League and work their way up to whatever your limit is. In 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 4-on-4, FFA, and the fun game modes, the custom game modes. You can support this financially with Patreon, PayPal, and some e-coins, e-money, e-crypto, it's what it's called. God damn. Or you can give us your workforce if you are a developer yourself. We are looking for people who can do C#, .NET, React, Rust, TypeScript, and Node. I don't even know what the differences are. I don't qualify for the coding job, but many of you are working in IT and maybe you got some time to your hands, or you're a student and could use this as a project for your studies. Hit us up. Same goes if you're keen on social media, or if you know how to manage Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and all that, or just one of them, or Discord. We need to spread the word about the beauty that is W3Champions. And as we're building a new launcher that you can download in beta here, we're looking for people who can do graphic design. We're looking for people who can do UI and UX design. Join the Discord, hit up the people with the admin role. And let's talk a bit about this beta client here. For 3.5 years, W3Champions is W3Champions. You install the launcher, you get this little box in your vanilla Warcraft menu, but Warcraft 3 is not that stable in the framework that is provided by Blizzard. So the longer you have the game open, the more unstable it becomes. And that leads to join bugs. So W3Champions is taking the non-in-game part of Warcraft 3 and creates his own environment. which is way more stable and way more agile. That means they can introduce new features a lot easier. You probably saw, if you were playing on War3Champions before, on the upper right-hand side, for 3 years, there was a box saying automated tournaments coming soon. Well, now with the new framework, we can finally implement these automated tournaments. Hotkeys are implemented now as well. We had Flow TV already in the previous version of War3Champions. Now, with the new launcher, it's very, very easy to implement some filter mechanisms, like look for a player name or sort by MMR. Stuff that was usually only doable via a homepage is now all in the launcher, and that is the future of War3Champions, and it's freaking great. And there's basically only one, or mostly one person doing that at the moment. That is Kovacs, and this guy is doing so much work, and not enough songs are sung about Kovacs. So love that guy, love the work. He's so motivated, so talented, absolutely gorgeous. And hopefully he will do a lot more. Here at the War3Champions Finals, we are crowdfunding this tournament every single time via Matcherino W3C finals.backtowarcraft.com. The heroes so far: Kleine Schildpad, $1,000, B2W Schildpad in the chat, Sephiro with 500, Pauna der Nation with 200 yesterday. Crazy contributions today as well by Nicholas, by Brickball, by Buttcrumbs, by Skimmy. All these big numbers raised the prize pool to over 3K. That's just gorgeous, guys. And you can still buy the profile pictures if you want to equip yourself with an Archmage, a Warden, a Shadowhunter, or a Crypt Lord. You can do that. $5 each directly into the prize pool. No share for us, no share for the designers, all to the players. And now I think I talked a lot and need a little rest. In 15 minutes, we'll be live with Kevin Schwem as my co-caster with the first game of the one-on-one section, which is colorful and elegant. And the winner faces the winner of the second round of 16, which is either Moon or Leon. Thank you guys for tuning in. Spread the word. We are just getting started.